I think we good. I think we good. I think we good. Yeah. Let's get the show started. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. All right, y'all. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. This is episode 248. So shout out to y'all, everybody that's in the building. Y'all in here nice and early. Shout out to the chat. I'm gonna shout out some of y'all in the chat. And again, I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping and showing major love as always. Quick shout out to the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Let's get the show started. And remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Don't try to stand out for being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life, culture. Hate has a location. It's just not here. So I want to thank y'all again for tuning in to Sunday's episode 248. That's a lot of episodes, y'all. So again, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Major love to the chat. Big love to the chat. Shout out to, we got Tremont in the building. You're Brooklyn in the building. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Shout out to Hazel. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to Culture in the building. Yo, brothers and sisters. Shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to King P in the building. You already know what it is, King P. Pause. That sounds crazy. Shout out to you. But he gifted the president out here on Debo time. That is a fact. He said y'all here on Debo time. That is a fact. He moving. He moving like we might have to change Donald Trump name. He's moving. That type of energy he on right now is just different. Um, in some aspects, I love it. Whatever it takes to keep our country safe, and whatever it takes to keep us or keep us trying to be better than we was yesterday as a nation. I love it. So I can't get mad at all of it. Some people may be mad at me saying that. I don't care. It is what it is. But you gotta respect how we being protected in this country. It is what it is. It's a part of. It's a part of it. Is what it is, man. But shout out to King P for that. Shout out to Tremont. Shout out to Culture. And shout out to Ruin 12, my dog Ruin 12 in the building. Appreciate you for tapping. And he said, yo, bro, with the gas prices, World 3 don't sound too bad. I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, y'all gotta understand, when we talk politics on here, like, we're serious, but we also, it's some jokes. And I know some people may be overly sensitive. I get it. I mean, everybody's perspective is different. But, at the end of the day, if you live in the USA, you Team USA. If you're not for Team USA, you need to go where you're from and rock out. That's it. It is what it is. You gotta accept the good with the bad. So it is what it is. But shout out to Ruin 12, my dog in the building, one of our day ones, one of our mods, holding it down. So y'all better talk to me nice. All right, y'all. With no further ado, let's start the show. First segment of the night. Popular. You go to Instagram at UV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. Label motto is create, document, and inspire. All right, our first segment of the night, popular opinion. And remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's answers to my dog Ron 12. I'm most definitely Team USA. Better than Sleepy Joe. I'm trying to tell you, man. Joe. We don't know what Joe was doing when he was the president. We don't even know. We couldn't find Kamala Harris. It was a whole mess. So it is what it is. All right, y'all. First question of the night. Remember, y'all, these are not my questions. Which is the highest paying job without a college degree? Which is the highest paying job without a college degree? on this list? Number one, a commercial pilot. Number two, nuclear power reactor operator. Number three, air traffic controller. Number four, elevator, escalator, installer, or repair. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the question is, which is the highest paying job without a college degree? Number one, a commercial pilot. Number two, a nuclear power reactor operator, right? Number three, air traffic controller. Number four, elevator or escalator installer or repair. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions, so stick to the answers in the questions. All right, so for me, all these jobs, I looked it up. They all high-paying jobs, but before I looked it up, I just answered the question straight out. So just answering the question straight out, I'm gonna say elevator and escalator installer or repair. I would have thought, because you could run your own business, you could be your own company, but they were just signifying that basically you're working for the company. So that's what I thought the question was relating. But I'm just gonna stick with that answer just because. So I'm gonna say elevator, escalator, installer, or repair, because you always need repairs on escalators, elevators, and we get new buildings every day, B. So because of that, you need somebody that know what they're doing. So that's why I went with that. In the chat, I'm seeing 2 and 1 in the chat, which is commercial pilot and the nuclear power reactor operator. That sounds crazy all in itself. Nuclear power reactor operator. Like, that sounds crazy. But so I'm seeing a mix of both in the chat. The rest of the world, mind y'all, 102,000 people voted on this. At 39% went with nuclear power reactor operator. That's what they went with, 39%. But the actual number, because the nuclear power reactor operator, I have to say the full name. I have to give it the full gist, right? They make on average $121,000 a year without a college degree. Commercial pilot, on average they make $123,000, again without a college degree. Escalator, elevator, installer, repairer, they make about $107,000 annually, again without a degree. And the actual highest grossing without a degree, air traffic controller, which they average at $144,000 a year, which is it's kind of surprising, to be honest with you, mainly because what we hear in the news as of late. People that work at the airport or work with airplanes, they having a hard time getting their money on. So I'm kind of, surprised on that. Actually, I thought it was the elevator, escalator, installer, repair, because I feel like they would work more. But nuclear power reactor, I'm saying, but we got the truth in itself. So again, air traffic controller is the highest paid job without having a college degree at $144,000 a year on average. So yeah. Shout out to Paul. We got big Paul in the building. Appreciate Paul for tapping in. You already know Paul. Show major love. Remember, y'all, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Which state, and some of y'all probably don't know the answer to, not some of y'all don't know the answer to, but some of y'all probably don't even know this, right? So which state pays you the most in the U.S. to move there? Yes, we have states in the U.S. that would pay you to move there. Yes, which state pays the most? Which U.S. state pays the most for you to move there? Okay. Number 1, Alaska. Number 2, West Virginia. Number 3, Kentucky. Number 4, Indiana. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the question is, Which U.S. state would pay you the most to move in there on this list? Number 1, Alaska. Number 2, West Virginia. Number 3, Indiana. Number 3, Kentucky. Number 4, Indiana. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, y'all don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It does help with the growth of the show. For me personally, I did the research on all these states in previous years. So I don't know the real answer for real, but based on the research that I had in previous years, I'm going to go with Kentucky, because I found out years ago that Kentucky in certain counties, they would give you money just to move there. And I was shocked. I didn't even know that that was a real thing. I actually looked it up maybe about like 10 years ago. And now that this question has resurfaced, so I'm gonna stick with Kentucky. I feel like they probably then going up. So, but yes, Kentucky, I'm going with Kentucky. In the chat, y'all also going with Kentucky, and I'm also seeing Indiana in the chat as well. So it's like a mix of both in the chat as well. So me, again, I went with Kentucky. The chat is also going with Kentucky or Indiana. Mind y'all, over 210,000 people voted on this. 41% went with Alaska. They went with Alaska, which is true but not true. Meaning, like, Alaska will give you some money to move there, but you have to deal with the, not having the sun for 6 months and then living in the sun for 6 months, like all day and night. So I'm pretty sure that would throw a lot of people off. And I believe they also give some sort of extra stipulation, but the real answer actually is West Virginia. West Virginia give new residents $23,000 a year if you work in a remote field. So if you're basically working remotely, they got 23 of them things for you per year. I'm not sure how long that they do that for. I'm not sure if it's just for the 1 year or for a couple years, but they do give you 23,000 if you're living remote, and if you don't get the full 23,000 in money, they also parlay that in incentives as well. Coming in second was actually Indiana with 15,000 remote workers, but that also, I believe they get like 10,000 in cash and like another 5 in incentives. Kentucky is only relegated to certain counties, which is 5,000. Alaska is only 1,000 that they would give you to move there. But hey, man, 1,000 to move somewhere is basically sound like, moving money. But all the other places seem a little bit more like inviting as far as how much they willing to pay you. But how many people is in line to move to West Virginia, Kentucky, or Indiana? Nobody's in line to move there. I mean, so, 23 is 23, but I'm cool. I'm cool. All money ain't good money, right? So again, that is the actual answer, which is West Virginia, which is 23,000. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our Hollywood Need to Ask Us segment. I came up with this segment because there's just a lot of trash ass movies in Hollywood. They have no like original thought, no like something that was like ongoing that people want to see, no intrigue. I feel like I got better ideas for either a show or an actual movie. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us tonight, I would love to see, and maybe this is just me, but let me know what y'all think about this in the chat. But I would love to see a live action movie of the Boondocks. The Boondocks is easily one of the most funniest cartoons that we've ever had. It's a hilarious show. Obviously, it has a lot of social commentary, and it's a good time. Like, it's a good time. And in my opinion, they should use some of the actors' voices, even though this is a live action movie. They should still use some of the actors' voices from the cartoon in the movie. But it is what it is. So I will call this movie Woodcrest, the last Renaissance. Excuse me, Woodcrest, The Last Renaissance. Shout out to my dog CC in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, my brother. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. So again, my Hollywood need to ask us. I would love to see a live action movie of the Boondocks. Again, I will call this Woodcrest, The Last Renaissance. The movie would actually be about that Woodcrest becomes basically an AI generated savvy type of community. And basically, Huey is now an underground hacker, which is not far-fetched if you follow the Boondocks. Riley is a known basketball player in college, collecting all that NIL money. And but the neighborhood in itself, Woodcrest, has really became dependent on AI and its algorithms, and come to find out that the algorithm is actually designed to systematically remove disruptive elements from the neighborhood, such thou as Uncle Ruckus, Mr. Dubois, and of course, Granddad. So Riley and Huey has to team up and basically to save the neighborhood of Woodcrest. So that is my Hollywood need to ask us. Of course, it would be rated R based on the jokes, the nudity, the content in itself. My foundational actors, I'm going with Caleb McLeod to play Huey Freeman. I'm going with Jahai Diallo Winston playing Riley. Keith David playing Granddad, which was very hard because rest in peace to John Witherspoon. He would have been perfect, obviously, right? Gary Anthony, the actual actor that plays Uncle Ruckus, he can play the real live Uncle Ruckus. I'm going with Keegan Michael Key to play Tom Dubois. I'm going with Jesse Plemons to play Ed Wansler the fourth. And I think this would be an absolute fire movie to make. My director, I'm going with Boots Riley. Producer, Jordan Peele. Music score, I want my music score done by Nas. I think that would be fire if Nas was to do it. And of course, my co-writer would be Aaron Magruder. And my art director, last but not least, would be Patrick O'Keefe. So I think this would be an absolute fire movie to see. I think everybody and their mother will run to see this movie. Of course, that comedy is going to be on point. The social commentary is going to be something like we've never seen. And I think this is a better version of what any scary movie could be, right? Because you think of this type of show, it's not a parody, but they have moments where they compare the social commentary to the parody and they make it kind of real. I think this would be a slam dunk. Everybody would go see this. So again, my Hollywood need to ask us again would be a live action movie of the Boondocks. So again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Our must-see segment. I'm going to give out 3 Eddie Murphy Awards to 3 fire movies that y'all must see at home. So my first Eddie Murphy Award goes to a movie that came out in 1996, directed by Douglas Barr. This movie stars Michael Biehn, Marge Hellenberger, Peter McNeil, and Vaughn Flores. This movie is called Conundrum. Fire, must-see movie. By the end of the movie, you're going to know why I gave this movie the Eddie Murphy Award. It's a fire movie about 2 cops, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I'm not going to spoil it for y'all. So make sure y'all tap in to see Conundrum. My second Eddie Murphy Award goes to the movie that came out in 1996, directed by Bethany Rodney. This movie stars Kansas Cameron Burr, Mark Paul Goslin, Jenny Von Oy, Nikki Cock, and Brandon Douglas. This movie is called Freshman Fall. Freshman Fall. Honestly, I love movies like this because it had a message, and we used to have so much message-based movies that we used to walk away with something more than just entertainment. This is one of those type of movies. This is about a young lady, her first year in college. And you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it. So again, make sure y'all tap in to see Freshman Fall. And my third Eddie Murphy award goes to the movie that came out in 1999, directed by Paul Schroeder. Schroeder. This movie stars Ray Liotta, Joseph Finesses. No, Joseph Finesse, Gretchen Mole, and Vincent Lasarco. I know I tore up that last name, Vincent Lasarco. I know Vincent Lasarco played in Juice. He played Radames in Juice. So if you ever seen Juice and you seen the character go Bishop, that's Radames and that's Vincent Lasarco. I know I didn't get that quite right, but this movie is called Forever Mine. This movie is so interesting. The first 30 minutes of the movie had me all the way pissed off. This movie's about a young man working at a hotel, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you. But the first 30 minutes of this movie had me all the way pissed off. I'm not going to lie. But it's an interesting and a good movie. It had a first and second and third act in this movie that made sense. So y'all must see this movie. So my 3 Eddie Murphy awards goes to the movie, again, Conundrum, Freshman Fall, and Forever Mine. You can see these movies on either YouTube or Tubi. So make sure y'all tap into these movies. These are absolute fire, absolute must-see. So tap into these. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. I'm gonna give out 3 Eddie Murphy awards to some fire must-hear songs. Put them on your playlist. And you know, whether it's new or old, whether it's hip-hop or R&B, I'm going to give y'all that fire either way. So my tonight profile artist is legendary Bill Withers. And I know some of y'all have never heard of Bill Withers, but y'all have heard his music before. In some way, some form, some form of capacity, y'all heard his music before. So my 3 Eddie Murphy awards goes to, number 1, his song, Just the Two of Us. Fire, classic song. It's timeless. Make sure y'all put that on your playlist. My second Michael Jackson award goes to the song Lovely Day. Y'all may have heard the song in a movie like Roll Bounce. Fire song. Put that on your playlist. And my third final song, y'all heard it any and everywhere. The third and final song, third Eddie Murphy award, Michael Jackson award goes to the song Ain't No Sunshine. Fire, must-have songs on your playlist. So again, my 3 Michael Jackson awards goes to the 3 songs. Number 1, Just the Two of Us. Number 2, Lovely Day. Number 3, Ain't No Sunshine. So make sure y'all tap into those movies. And I'm telling y'all, it's timeless. It's a good time. And it's going to take your mood to somewhere else. Telling you. All right, so moving on to our next segment. I'm about to book that flight. You already know what time it is. You've been hearing it on the news that the flights has been canceled. But not to Turkey. Time. Send them to Turkey or not. Send them to Turkey or nah. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. We type in T to send them to Turkey, or we type in N not to send them to Turkey. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. First one of the night. Here we go, y'all. This one is crazy. The University of Notre Dame. The University of Notre Dame. They have implemented a new financial structure where if you're a family that has an income below 150,000, they will receive, the student will receive a need-based financial aid, which covers the full cost of your tuition. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the University of Notre Dame has implemented a new financial structure that if your family makes under 150,000 a year, you will receive what's called a need-based financial aid pack, right? This will cover the full tuition of the Notre Dame education. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And also, I missed this part too. And also, if you make 200,000, if the family makes over 200,000 or 200,000, they will cover half of it. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending the University of Notre Dame to Turkey or not? Are we sending them to Turkey or not? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Also, tap into our membership. Take advantage of it right now. Subscribers, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We almost at 13. So again, hit the like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button, hit that all notification, because I do pop up throughout the week, new videos premiering and with shorts. So make sure y'all stay tapped in. So shout out to Ebony. She said no turkey. Love it when it comes to education. Okay, respect that. Definitely respect that. My biggest thing is this, because for the University of Notre Dame to be able to open up their books like this by allowing students to get a great education if their family is under, I don't want to say underperforming, but they don't make the 150,000 mark. I love it on one aspect. On the other aspect, it has me thinking like, why? Schools just don't normally come out with great gesture for students to get their education. There's always a financial base when it comes to schools. Anything with schools and prisons, they all about the almighty dollar. So it gives me cause to pause on why, right? But in the bigger picture of things, while we're asking why, other side of me is like, get yours, get that education. If they accept you and your family again doesn't make over 150,000, over 200,000, especially over 150, you can get your full education paid for. So I mean, to ask why is a question for the parent. That's not a question for the student. Student, go ahead and go get yours. Now, for the parents, again, who make more than 150, you can still get half of the education paid for, which again is all in itself. That sounds like a great deal. But on a bigger part of it, there has to be some sort of sanction. I don't want to say sanction, that's not the right word, but this has to be some sort of hidden facility that's allowing for that extra money to come in, that allow these students to come in on a cheaper rate. University of Notre Dame is known for their academics. They do have a great football and basketball team. They got great athletics as well too, but they're known for their academics, and the prestige of having a Notre Dame education is very high. So I mean, take advantage while you can. In the chat, again, they saying no turkey. They love it when it comes to education. So I'm not mad at that. But again, it still gives me cause to pause. It makes me feel like something is on the back end, that they're collecting even more money that allows students to be underserved and get full access and education. So, you know, I will say that. I will say that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next topic of send them turkey or nah, send them to Turkey or nah. Maintenance worker allegedly urinates in a tenant's apartment sink and he was there, the maintenance worker was there fixing the washing machine in Bloomingdale. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, a maintenance worker allegedly urinates in the sink of a tenant. Again, he was there working on the washing machine, and he was in there washing something else. Pause. But again, this happened in the city of or in the area of Bloomingdale. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending them to Turkey or not? Are we sending them to Turkey or not? Type in T to send it to Turkey. Type in N not to send it to Turkey. Again, shout out to Ebony. She said, Turkey, Turkey, Turkey. He's a criminal. Wow. 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 I agree. I agree. And the reason why we have to say allegedly, it's just for, standard practices, but the video is out. He's caught on video while the person is not there. They're at work, urinating in their sink, like their kitchen sink. That is crazy, and it's caught on house cam. Crazy, nasty work. Now, on one aspect, you trust these people to come into your home, do what they do, fix what it needs to be fixing, and there has to be some sort of like unspoken integrity when you allow somebody in your home, because there's some complexes or apartment buildings that, hey, you need your place fixed. Okay, you put your order in. We're coming through Tuesday. Well, I work on Tuesday. Yeah, it don't matter. We coming in regardless. Okay, no problem. And you would expect that they have enough respect to come into your home, not wear their boots or their shoes, fix what they need to fix, and get gone. All right, you have to use the bathroom. There's a bathroom in here. Okay. People have to use the bathroom from time to time. I get it. Wash your hands, please. Okay, no problem. I can wash my towels. Sure. But damn, to urinate in a person's kitchen sink, to urinate other than the toilet, to urinate in somebody's bathtub, to urinate in their bathroom sink, not the toilet bowl, but to urinate in their kitchen sink is absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal. There should be criminal charges. There's also should be a fine, because these are bodily fluids. You don't know what's coming out of people's body. And because of that, when you urinate, the spackle goes all over the place. Could have landed on the dishes, could have landed on the cloth, could have landed, like it could land any and everywhere. Your marble floors, any and everything. The countertop, that's just nasty work. So honestly, I believe that there should be criminal charges. There should be a fine regarding this. And honestly, he shouldn't be able to have the same position that he did before. Because there's an unwritten trust that you're allowing somebody to come into your home, whether you're there or not, especially when you're not there, you're at work, you're trying to make that almighty dollar, and you think that the building people would assign people with some sort of integrity, as well as knowing what they're doing, what they need to do in your home. And most people don't realize that some buildings, they outsource their work, meaning that they don't have a building maintenance person. So anytime something goes wrong, they contract the company outside of the building. And you would think that these people would still feel some sort of decency about coming into your home, fixing what needs to be fixing. And if they have to use the bathroom, okay, use the bathroom. There's a bathroom right there. There's the toilet bowl right there. Not to piss in somebody's sink. That is dirty, disgusting. And honestly, I really hope that he gets brought up on charges. And they have to say allegedly, opposed to saying, he actually did this, but he's caught on tape, which is, again, nasty work. So, again, I'm sending him to Turkey. I'm agreeing with y'all in the chat as well. It's just nasty work, disgusting. And mind you, people are busting their butt to pay the rent. Again, where's the decency? How do y'all vet people? So what's going to happen with that company? Is the building going to sue the company? Is the tenant going to sue the company? I mean, it's too many layers for this. But at the end of the day, the tenant should also be, there should also be some sort of compensation for the tenant as well. Whether it's a free month's rent, whether it's some sort of legal finances that he could get from it, as some sort, or whatever the case may be. There has to be something done. At bare minimal, the company that assigned this man to come to the house and the building, or the whoever owns the property, needs to be some sort of compensation should follow or ensue. So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. It's about that time, y'all. It's about that time. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get to find us some movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Again, that's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Team that everybody's been talking about this. Hold up, before I go there, rest in peace. Rest in peace to the legend. Rest in peace to the legend, Chuck Norris. I seen the sad news the other day about legendary Chuck Norris. If you don't know who Chuck Norris is, yo, go do your Googles. Go do your research, please. Chuck Norris, OD, legend in the game, countless of movies, fire top tier movies from the 80s, 90s, obviously in the 2000s. He was even in a movie with Bruce Lee, and it was absolutely cooking in that movie. But Chuck Norris is an absolute legend in the acting space, in the martial arts space. And rest in peace to Chuck Norris. Again, a major loss to the acting game as well. I mean, there was a point in time Chuck Norris was in movies. He had TV shows. He had TV movies as well. He was dominating all three categories. So again, rest in peace to the legendary Chuck Norris. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. This has been buzzing all on my timeline, so I had to talk about it. So Team USA versus Team NFL flag football goes crazy. The internet goes crazy. I've been seeing it up and down my TikTok, up and down my Instagram, up and down my Facebook, and on YouTube. It's been going crazy. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Do we really need Olympics for football? Do we really need that? Because I've seen it. I've seen us play Olympic style football. Well, it's football, but just for the Olympics, Team USA, and we've been getting throttled, mainly because these are guys who play semi-pro football. There's no practicing involved. These are not guys who even play in any real, I won't say real pro leagues, but these are guys who are not playing, obviously not the NFL, obviously not college. These guys are not playing in the USFL or the XFL. These are guys who are playing semi-pro football, local team football, 37 and U football. But now there's been a flag football portion where you have Team USA. Now, I did see Tom Brady. I did see Odell Beckham. They still cooking. They're still cooking, yes. Tom Brady can still play in the NFL. Yes. Play for the right team, he can still play. He still throws it, he still rips it, and he's still very accurate. I have to say this. As guys get older when it comes to football, they don't lose it. Just can't do, you're just not able to do it physically every single day. But I have to give kudos to both teams. Both teams was actually playing hard. And guess what? Odell Beckham Jr. was actually a great player at one point in time in this league. So for him to make a one-handed catch on a couple people in the end zone, that's not far-fetched. At one particular point in time, we said Odell Beckham had one of the best hands in the league at one point in time. And y'all surprised that he made a one-handed catch in a flag football game? Is you serious? He could do that in his sleep. He could do that when he waking up. Same thing with Tom Brady. He could throw a strike, a 30-yard, 40-yard strike for breakfast. I've heard Coach Prime tell one of his sons that he ran a 4.2 for breakfast. And the son was like, what do that mean? And I'm pretty sure he knew what it mean. He just wanted to get more out of him. But when somebody can do something for breakfast, run a 4.2, throw a strike 40, 50 yards down the field, catch one-handed catches on one or two defenders with no fail, that means they could do that automatic. It's automatic. They just not getting up doing that every day anymore. It's automatic. That's just a part of their natural get down. So when I seen Team USA versus Team USA versus Team NFL, I thought it was an interesting game. Like to see both teams, they're both filled with NFL guys. Obviously, on one team you had the ISO Speed, you had Drewski, you had I believe it was Logan Paul. I'm not sure if it was the other Paul brother. Either or. Uh, then and still, it was still a good game. It was still a good game. And you'll be surprised who can still play and who can play. So, I will say that. But it was very entertaining. A lot of great highlights. And honestly, the only question that I walking away, Tom Brady can still play. He can still play. He can still play. If he got on the right team that had a good offensive line, had some receivers, hey man, he will have a productive season. I just believe that. Watching him play, his timing was impeccable, and I do believe that. So that's what I took away most of all from that Team USA versus Team NFL game. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Uh, don't let your emotions cost you money. I'll say that again. Don't let your emotions cost you money. Uh, a woman wins $15 million after her supervisor called her an entitled nigga. A judge found her supervisor guilty for being racially being discriminating and well, excuse me, for being racially and being just excuse me, I'm saying it right, but it's not formulating right. So the supervisor was found guilty by a jury that her supervisor was racially discriminative and against her and a coworker, but mainly towards her. The coworker just corroborated what was going on for years. This is with Lakiba Wilson. She worked for the City Code Enforcement Department. Um, that same supervisor also called her a piece of crap. I just substituted the word. Y'all get what I'm saying. He called her a piece of crap, called her lazy, and again called her entitled nigga. Um, and that cost the company $15 million, and obviously it cost that supervisor their employment and job. And they said this discrimination has been going on for years. Again, don't let your emotions get the best of you. It costs you money. Because at the end of the day, you didn't have to lose your job. If somebody is not a high performing worker, or they're not doing their part, or they're being lazy, there's ways of getting the most out of them. There are ways to communicate that without costing yourself your employment and your job, even if you think it. Because we got a whole bunch of things that we think in the craziest situations. But do we say it? No, because that's not smart. That's not tactical. If we live in a society where it was cool and we didn't get trouble for the first thing that come to mind, we just say it, or we didn't get in trouble for the first thing that come to mind, then people would do that. But you have to think twice. You're an adult. You've been around in these spaces for how many years? So at the end of the day, like, what are you doing? And you thought that type of behavior would not catch up. So the other coworker that did hear this, she was also awarded 400,000. That's a lot of money just for hearing some of what's going on. So she got 400,000, and this lady ended up with $15 million. $15 million. And again, at the end of the day, the supervisor allowed his emotion to cloud his judgment and say the first thing that came to his mind. And if this has been going on for a while, which they said this was ongoing for years, can you imagine? Can you imagine? So they just clocking it. They just recording his behavior. And hey, she got an early retirement gift. $15 million. Y'all will never see that lady ever again. She not clocking in nowhere. She not working nowhere. She probably built her business or something like that. But as far as work, oh yeah, we done did that already. I said we like I'm getting the money, but she done did that already. So again, do not let your emotions cloud your judgment and cost you money. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. And again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Again, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're real close to 13,000. So again, hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Former NFL running back Le'Veon Bell tweeted out about Lotto, the rapper Lotto. Lotto just announced she's pregnant by a married man with 3 kids, and made it a part of her album rollout, which she has. And he also went on to comment and says, and that's who today's women look up to. We doomed. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, former NFL player, running back Le'Veon Bell tweeted out, Lotto just announced that she's pregnant by a married man with 3 kids and made it part of her album rollout. He then went on to say, and that's who today's women look up to. We doomed. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. There's a lot of levels to this. A lot of levels to this. Now, on one aspect, he's not wrong for calling it out. He's just probably the most famous or notable person to actually call it out. And he doesn't feel any repercussion if he receive any backlash. It's like their worlds is kind of completely different. He would never see her people. Her people would never see him. And if they was to say something, it wouldn't bother him. He's very well off. He's doing well for himself, and so on and so forth. So I think he's probably the most notable person to say it out loud. Is he wrong? No. Mainly because on what Lotto put out there previously about calling other women silly and crazy, and that would never be her for having children with a man who's either married or have children of their own outside of their relationship. So I found that quite interesting in all in itself. Me personally, I don't find it nothing wrong with the woman seeing the value in the man that she's with, regardless if he's married or single, and having his child. The problem where it gets misconstrued is if you're a woman speaking against other women who have done it, and now you have gone to do it too. Now you're caught in your own predicament, in your own conundrum, so to speak. So that's where the ideology and the misprinciples come into play. It's like, how can you call this out, but you do the same thing? And then him unlayering that other layer, the fact that some women may follow her based on her celebrity. They may follow her and based on what she says, and they may say it on the internet, and this is what I'm on because this is, Lotto is the example in their eyes. So where's the accountability? Where's the accountability? At the end of the day, me personally, there are people that I respect their journey. I respect what they have done in any field, but I don't want to do what they do totally, right? My favorite basketball player, NBA player of all time is Stephon Marbury. My favorite NFL player of all time is Deion Sanders. So with that being said, all in itself, right? Here are two men that I respect their journey. Here are two men that in each sport was influential to me. Period, point blank. But there's things that each of them has done in their life that I don't want to mimic. And that's not me judging them. That's just me being my own personal thinker and in my mind. If they looked in my life, there's certain things they wouldn't have done either. Nobody is perfect. So to look at somebody and be like, yo, yeah, I'm going to do everything that they do, that's the standard. No, they're inspirational, and there's certain things that you could take from them. Like even with Deion Sanders, there's certain things that he has endured in his personal life that he shared that I've heard him speak on, that I've used and put it towards my own mentality, because at certain parts of life, you basically learn from other people's mistakes if you haven't made that mistake. And hopefully, like the younger brothers, coming up after me will look at some of my mistakes and be like, yo, I don't want to do what he did, even though I still respect his grind, I respect his hustle, I respect everything that he's done, but I don't want to do that. So it's like each one teach one, right? So to say that, Lotto is basically the woman that these younger women are looking up to, she speak against having children or setting up a life with somebody who was already situated with somebody else, and now she goes to do it too. So now are we going to see more young ladies basically contradict themselves by living a lifestyle of something that they speak out against? And all this shit is entertainment at the end of the day. Don't be fooled. Half of these people is not really living or thinking the way that they say that they portraying. Right? I mean, it is what it is. There's a market for when people talk, when people sing, when people rap. There's a market for the things that they say. That's why they say it. We also have it in sports. You have to have somebody against something and somebody for something. And just because somebody speak against it, that don't mean that they really against it in real life. That's just their job. It's their job to find the debate. So again, don't be fooled by people what they say. Look at their actions by itself, because that tells the tale. And when people speak against things and end up doing it, they ended up looking crazy. They end up looking like fools. So at the end of the day, be careful who you follow. Be careful who you watch. Be careful who you allow to say that you're going to set your sights and your standards with. Because all of us is human. And people's principles shouldn't change, but they do change. Especially when that money is on the table. When that value is on the table. Remember, your value is not what you say it is. I hate when people say, I know my value. Your value is what other people is willing to pay for it. That's your value. If ain't nobody ever paid for the value that you're talking about, then guess what? That's not your value. So the fact that Le'Veon Bell spoke on it, I loved it because it pointed out the hypocrisy of the ideology of some people and how they move based on principles. You say you live on principles, but you don't. It's like what's real is fake and what's fake is real. So I love the fact that he called it out, because it's not just with Lotto, it's with several different artists, entertainers, athletes, politicians. It happens every day. But again, all of this shit is WrestleMania. All of it. You have to have somebody that's for something and have somebody against something. Then when you actually sit down and speak with them, like, yo, I don't believe in none of that at all. That's just a job, bro. This is called debating. It's my job to debate this, regardless if I don't rock with it. Same thing with lawyers. You have the defendant or the defender, and you have the can't think of the other lawyer, but you have somebody who's the defender, and you have somebody that's the prosecutioner, for and against. So I'm glad they called this out. Shout out to my dog Vic in the building, one of our day ones in the building. He said turkey, sent him the turkey. Yeah, this one right here, we had time to wrap. So, but again, appreciate my dog Vic for being in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, even if you have done so already. All right, y'all. Our next hot topic in time to wrap. Backlash. Oh no, I can't do that one. I can't do that one. I gotta save that one. All right. So, question: what's more important when it comes to kids' athletic sports? What's more important? Atmosphere or competition? Again, what's more important in kids' athletics? Atmosphere or competition? And when I say kids, I'm speaking against all sports that's not high school related. So basically 14 and under. If they're not in high school, then that's what I consider kids sports. If they're not playing high school. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, what's more important for kids sports? Atmosphere or competition? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, I grew up boxing. I ran a little track, but I played football mostly and basketball mostly. Two-sport athlete all the way in through college. Now, I played a little semi-pro too. Yeah. Junior pro, but college. Right? Now, I've been in sports as far back as I can remember. There was a point in time, the first sports that I could really get acclimated to was the atmosphere. Because in my neighborhood, there wasn't many avenues when I was a kid, for real, or we had team sports like that, having to go outside my neighborhood. So atmosphere was absolutely a thing growing up as a kid in the 90s, right? I was, a little kid in the 90s, but I played a lot of sports. So atmosphere was everything. And I had to go outside my neighborhood to find sports until I was probably like 10 years old. Once I hit 10, I was able to go, not too far much down, but the first team that I played with that was close to me was the Brooklyn Skyhawks and their football team. So with that being said, that was more a competition, because playing for the Skyhawks, the competition was next level. You had all the kids from the neighborhood that took football serious, and we played against the best teams in Brooklyn and in Queens. And it was serious. It was no holds barred. It was like the soldier's life. So that competition in itself, even though the atmosphere wasn't great, and what I mean by that, and I'm not saying with the Skyhawks in itself, but I've seen on other teams, when we would go to other teams, some of their fans would be outside gambling, smoking, drinking, just not something that's becoming of an athletic environment for young players, right? So the competition is what made our skill set very sharp, made it very sharp. And it took us to the next level as far as the skill. Now, when I went back to playing in other leagues outside of my neighborhood, which I, ended up doing kind of, sort of, you start seeing the competition not being as tough, but the experience of the atmosphere, that was something that mattered more long term. And what do that mean? So I went to another team that we actually traveled. So we was no longer the team where we played teams from Brooklyn and Queens. We played the best teams in New York State. We played the best teams in Chicago. We played the best teams in Philly. What's another state we played? Philly, Chicago, Ohio, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., New Jersey. Those were our schedules. Now that atmosphere has changed. Now we're taking charter buses to universities to play 13 and under football. So that atmosphere prepared me for college. High school, I was already ready for high school before that. But just for college, because now we're traveling, staying in hotels. We got Reebok suits. And for those who remember Reebok, we had Reebok suits with our name and position with the team logo on the back. We had Letterman's jackets when we traveled with our team name, our position, the big numbers on the back, our record, the whole nine. It was always first class. So for me, honestly, you got to have like a mix of both, in my opinion. You got to have a mix of both. But if I'm going to say which one is more important, it's going to be competition. It's going to be competition, because competition prepares you for any level, in every level, whether it's high school or whether it's college. Atmosphere, you get a whole bunch of kids who have the atmosphere who just not that good, but they know what it's like to have a sold out crowd at the 13-year-old game. Like, damn, this whole stadium is sold out to see us play? What? And these are in other states. Again, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. My team is from, New York. And at a 13-year-old game, our games, we got people at the games, but it's not packed at capacity. When we go to these other states and other cities, we packed up high schools. We packed up colleges. And that's no lie. I'm keeping it a buck. Shout out to the Mo Better Jaguars. If you know, you know. We packed it out. But that competition allowed majority of us to take advantage of high school and go to college. And I'm seeing more and more that parents are ruining the opportunity of their children, of their sons, when they play in these competitive sports. It's competitive sports. And granted, some coaches do play favorites, for sure. For sure. What are favorites? Guys who can play, but they're not better than the guys who are not playing. And the reason why he's playing is because he's a favorite of the coach based on whatever's going on off the field. It could be a relationship with the father, with the mom, with the family, who knows. But yes, coaches do play favorites for sure. But at the end of the day, competition always still matters, because you're still getting a repetition. So now when you go to high school, you become a standout. So for me, it's competition over atmosphere, in my opinion. But atmosphere does matter, because you do have to understand how to act and move in certain atmosphere in a kid's arena, for sure. Shout out to my dog Vic. He said atmosphere. I coach my sons from flag to Pop Warner. I love that. I love that. I love when fathers, when we are engaged in the sports with our children, whether it's, boys or girls. You know what I mean? But I love the fact that, you was deeply involved in that. I love that, because you've seen it on firsthand. You probably seen parents who expected too much out of their sons, and he not it, and that's why he's not playing, but they still want him to play because they done paid the money, they done paid the registration fee, the equipment fee. I get it, but if you put him out here, he will get hurt. He's not prepared yet. And it's not that we're not preparing him, it's just that he's not catching on yet. So I get it. I get it. But for me, it's always competition over atmosphere. But atmosphere absolutely matters. And parents, learn how to have a conversation with the coach. Pull that coach aside when nobody else is around and have a real conversation. When you're confronting somebody, that's completely different than having a conversation. And when you confront somebody, you basically, whatever you're thinking, you have to get yours off. But it's not resolution based. Coach, how can we get my son to get more minutes? I see him at home. He's very capable of playing this position. What does he need to do? How can he get extra reps before and after practice so he could get caught up to start contributing to the team on the field? That's how you do that. Not in front of everybody else, but separately. Separately. That's how you make that happen. So I've seen too many times, whether on Friday Night Tykes, whether in real life, where I've seen parents, it get real interesting between the parents and the coaches. So there's a way to do that, y'all. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in time to rap. I almost put the other one up, right? Yeah. All right, y'all, moving on. Question. Does Hollywood have a theaters problem, selling tickets problem, or a bad movie problem? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, does Hollywood have a theater problem, a selling tickets problem, or do they have a bad movie problem? Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, I love going to the movies. It's always a great time. I think because we went through COVID, when COVID hit, the movie theaters, I think the movie theaters was kind of on the decline before COVID hit. But obviously when COVID hit, it was like damn near wrap, right? So it feels like not a good investment. But I don't think the movie theaters is a problem. I think people will still go to the movie theaters. I think people still love the experience to go to the movie theaters. Just to go out, just to have fun, to go on a date, just to relax, just to be a movie buff. I think people still enjoy the experience in the movies. With that being said, I think it's a movie problem, not a movie theater problem. Not selling tickets being a problem because you could buy them online and then you can show up to the theater and get your exact seat. It's a movie problem. Simple and plain. Again, we talked about COVID. They went through years without the actors getting paid properly or getting paid at all. And they blame COVID on the stoppage of movies and it not being available. So now it's available. I mean, let's be honest with you, we may get, and I might be speaking for myself, I don't want to be too presumptuous, but I may see 3 movies a year that I'm even interested in going to the movies to go see. Maybe. And out of 3, I probably will go see 2 out of those 3. Yeah. Especially if it's Marvel. For sure. For sure. For sure. Sinners, I went to go see that. Had to see that. Absolutely had to go see that. I did go watch the Bloodlines of Final Destination. I could have saw that on stream. It was all right. It was okay. It was all right. I saw the last Jurassic Park in the movie theaters. Great watch. A better watch in the movie theaters for sure. So there's certain movies that I'm going to go and watch because I know it's going to be a quality movie. But it's a bad movie problem. They don't make enough great movies. And all the movies that they make for people to go watch, and another one was Alien, I believe it was Romulus. Also a great movie to watch in theaters. Great time, right? But it's a bad movie problem overall. Time and time again, and it's not if it's not big budget movies, the Marvels, the Avatars, the Aliens, the Jurassic Parks, they don't make enough interesting movies. What happened to the real fire rom-coms where you have a guy and a lady and they playing the cat and mouse and being in love, and then you get the little jokes in between in the movie, the comedy relief actor in the movie. Good time, great movies. And those movies, I think of like what's those type of movies, y'all? Those are movies are like The Best Man, the wood to some degree, coming to age, but also rom-comish, Love Jones. Like what happened to those movies? What happened to the Set It Offs, the Boys in the Hood type of movies? What happened to the Friday type of movies? What happened to the Heat type of movies? What happened to those movies that are just good ass movies to go watch in theater? And it doesn't have to be Marvel based. It doesn't have to be DC based. What happened to those movies? We used to get a surplus of great movies per year. That's why a majority of the movies that I'll talk about are from the 80s and the 90s. We got so much fire movies from back then that a lot of those movies was overlooked. And when you watch them today, that they still hold up, you like, damn, I would go see that in theater right now. What happened to these movies? What happened to the running scares type of movies? If y'all know about Running Scared. Both movies, matter of fact. The one with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines, and there's another Running Scared with Paul Walker, which is an absolute fire movie. If you know, you know. If you know, you know that movie. But what happened to these entertaining, well scripted movies that had big budgets? People will go see it. And they feel like Sinners is such a novelty because it's an original IP. But there's great scripts out there that we need to go ahead and just put out and let the people decide what happened to these movies. We have a movie problem. Not a theater problem, not a selling ticket problem. We have a movie problem. It's just terrible ass movies that they giving us. So that's how I feel about it. Shout out to Vic. Shout out to Ebony. I like going to the movies. The movies isn't that good. Shout out to Cece, my dog Cece. Bingo. They stopped focusing on storylines. And more than half the time, I'll be like, what the F is going on? That's a fact. That's a fact. And it feels like that. It feels like that. Honestly, if it's not the Avatar, if it's not DC, Marvel, it's like that's all that's in there. What happened to these popping movies? What happened to the great storyline that had 3 good acts in the movie? What happened to them? People will go and see these movies show up and show out. What happened? So we definitely have a movie problem opposed to selling tickets or a movie theater problem. We need better movies, and we need them on a regular basis. I wouldn't be mad that Hollywood would back their catalog up. So let's say in 2027, we get an influx of great movies for the whole year. Every month, there's at least like 6 movies that people feel like they have to go to the movie theaters to go see. We used to have that back in the 90s and somewhat of the early 2000s, definitely in the 80s. Listen to the movies that I named. And when y'all go watch them, these movies are all classic with great storylines, with great action. The action, even though we have more technology now, but the practical technology we had prior to, it did the job. But now our technology is on a whole nother level, and it's just like it takes over the whole movie. And the storyline is ass. Like they say in the chat, like, what is this? So again, it's a bad movie problem in my opinion. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Round two, road to the Final Four has been, is still going on, but we have some games that we must note. There's a couple games that I didn't get down because, some of these games just went off. So Purdue, number 2 Purdue, has beat number 7 Miami 79-69. Let me see if I can look up some of these scores. But I'm not surprised. Miami is a good team. But Purdue is Purdue. They number 2 for a reason. They show up and show out each and every game, and I'm not surprised that they ended up losing to them. Purdue had this game handedly. They had this game handedly. There was no part of the game I felt like Purdue felt like they was going to lose. So I'm looking out and being careful of Purdue moving forward. They're a very dangerous team playing in that Big Ten, and they flexing their muscle in this conference, in this tournament so far. Also in the second round, we had number 4. Number 4 Kansas played number 5 St. John's. St. John's wins that game 67-65. I'm not surprised. St. John's. I told y'all St. John's before the tournament start. They a dangerous team. They a dangerous team. Well coached, but a dangerous team. What do y'all expect? It's a dangerous team. They ball out. So I'm not surprised that they won that game. Next game, number 1 Florida versus number 9 Iowa. This was my first big upset of the tournament. I'm not gonna lie. I had Florida in the Final Four. I had them in the Final Four. Good team, damn good team. But I honestly believe that they had it. I honestly believe that. But they lost to Iowa, 73-71. Last shot type of situation. And yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a game like that, when you're on the Florida team or a team that's like Florida that's expecting to win and you lose by 1 point like that, you're hurting right now. You're hurting right now. Everything hurt. You don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want to see nobody. Everything hurt right now, and you just not feeling it. So, again, shout out to Florida. They had one hell of a season, but, hey, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. Next game was number 2 Iowa State versus number 7 Kentucky. Hey, man, Iowa State handled business, man. 82-63. Again, not surprised by that at all. So, Kentucky's a good team. I thought Kentucky was solid. I thought they were solid. I will say that. I'll say that they were solid. It was a solid team. Iowa State, good team. Big 12. If you know anything about Big 12 basketball, they show up and show out each and every year. I mean, so I'm not surprised that Iowa State wins that game. And I think Iowa State more than likely will probably win their next game as well, too. Moving on, number 3 Virginia and number 6 Tennessee. Number 6 Tennessee with the upset, 79-72. I am surprised at that game in itself, but the pace of both teams, you would have thought that it would have favored a team like Virginia, but Tennessee with the upset. And again, just one of those games that, hey, the hungrier team won. I'm like when we're gonna keep it real, the hungrier team wins. And I keep looking down because I'm looking at the new scores and I'm trying to update the scores before I get there. But the hungrier team wins every single time. That's the beauty about the road to the Final Four. The hungrier team always gonna win. The harder team is gonna win. And it is what it is. So I'm not surprised that Tennessee. No, I am surprised that Tennessee did win this game. But it's the tournament, so it's 3 versus 6. Number 1 Arizona plays number 9 Utah State. Arizona show up, show out, 78-66. So I'm not surprised in that game. If you've seen Arizona anytime this year, I believe Bryce James go to Arizona. I think he's taking a red shirt year, but they have a lot of talent on that team. So again, I'm not surprised to see them on their journey to the Final Four. The next team their next game is going to be quite interesting moving forward as well. Shout out to Utah State. Utah State had a good season. They played tough. They play hard. They play tough. And, we'll see what happens with that moving forward with their program. The next game is number 2 UConn versus number 7 UCLA. I had UConn losing to Florida at some point, but UConn won this game. They did beat UCLA 73-57. The game didn't feel close to me at any point. I don't think UConn felt threatened that they would lose this game at any point. So kudos to UConn. UConn is a good team, man. They're a good team. They're good. Yo, UConn is a good team. They're a good team. I will say that. And y'all brought it up in the chat in a past show when we talked about the Final Four. The UConn is a solid team. Definitely a solid team. Next game is still going on. Texas Tech versus Alabama. But Alabama will more likely win that game. They're up right now 85-56. Alabama, another solid team. A lot of talent on their team. Not surprised that they're beating Texas Tech like this. So that's the second round thus far. All of today's games, I should say, in the second round. So again, Purdue beats Miami 79-69. Kansas lose to St. John's 67-65. Florida loses to Iowa 73-72. Iowa State beats Kentucky 82-63. Virginia loses to Tennessee 79-72. That's an upset for me, to me. Number 1 Arizona beats number 9 Arizona State 78-66. UConn beats UCLA 73-57. And again, the game is still going on. Alabama versus Texas Tech, but Alabama's up big time, 85-56. They beating them badly right now. So make sure y'all get y'all brackets in, or updated brackets in for the next week. So but shout out to the Final Four, the road to the Final Four. It's a very solid thing. Shout out to my dog CC Ash. Get that on the shirt game. What happened to the movies? That's a fire idea. I like that. On the front, and we send that shit to Turkey on the back. That's fire. That's fire. I love that. Shout out to my dog CC. I love that. I might do that. I love that though. Shout out to Rowan 12. Are you ready? CC. He's like, what? Yeah. He like, I don't think he gonna answer to that Rowan 12. Stupid. But yeah, man. The road to the Final Four. These are some of the best games. They said in the chat. These are some of the best games all year round. Players are hungry. They showing up and showing out. And the biggest thing that I like about the Final Four, we find the stars. We find the standout players who really perform night in, night out. And they up their draft status. So I love this. Like, even for my Brooklyn Nets, right? What people got to realize, we are rebuilding. Most of the times, the Brooklyn Nets, we're fighting and we're playing for a championship. And some people may laugh at that, but no, I'm being dead serious. Like, we put our teams together to really make championship runs, right? And I'm talking about the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not talking about the New Jersey Nets. But even though the New Jersey Nets, they made championship runs the late 90s, early 2000s. So that's something to be said about that, right? Looking at that history. Then we look at Deron Williams, and then you bring over Joe Johnson, you bring over Pierce, you bring over Kevin Garnett. That was supposed to be a playoff run type of team, right? But it didn't happen. Fast forward, we rebuild. We got a young crew. Like, hey, y'all could get Kyrie, KD, and Harden. For real? Yeah. We had to trade everybody, dog, and that didn't work out. And I think mainly to do the injuries, because you couldn't tell me that the year that Milwaukee won the finals, that it shouldn't have been Brooklyn winning the finals. You can't tell me nothing, but it didn't happen. Mind you, Kyrie got hurt. Harden was playing hurt, but KD was cooking. So we always looking to make those championship runs. We are in a rebuilding stage right now, and I'm fine with that. I just hate the BS that comes with it, for it being a New York team. People talk about, it's the Knicks town. But like, yo, the Knicks been trash forever. Like, y'all just got good again like 3 years ago. Chill. I'm glad the Knicks is decent again. But even with y'all team, y'all still not ringing that championship bell. And I don't want to sound like a hater, but it is what it is. You haven't ring the championship bell, and everybody who's anybody is hurt in the East. They hurt. So if any year for the Knicks to win a championship is this year, and if they don't win this year, they'll never win. That's why I actually believe that. If they don't win this year, they will never win. But Brooklyn Nets, we are rebuilding, and I'm loving what I see in college basketball because there's a lot of talent. And in my opinion, my Nets is one superstar away. We one superstar away from really rebuilding and making championship runs. Obviously, that's not going to happen in the immediate future, but we could be really good in the immediate future. But to make championship runs, I think that could come like realistically if we draft right in this draft. Realistically, I could say about 6 years. Some people like 6 years. 6 years. Think about it. Look at a guy like Anthony Edwards. He's what, in his fifth or sixth year? Look at some of these guys who are really turning the corner and becoming champions. Not just being a good player, but learning how to win, being a good player and being a great player. So I think us as Brooklyn Nets, I think we're one young great piece away. Because if you look at the new NBA, right? LeBron is older, Steph is older, KD is older. All these guys who are superstars is older. They're not going to be in the league for that much longer. There's not a lot of superstars in the NBA. So the reason why I love this group of college players who are coming out, talent-wise, they close the gap. They get down. When you think of a guy like Peterson, when you think of a guy like AJ DeBosta, when you think of just certain players, they could really play. And that talent gap has closed. Like even a guy like Zion Williams, we look at Zion Williams, as talented as he is, but he has been injured riddled. So that is somewhat of an underachievement. So, I mean, like, what are we talking about? When we think of the superstars in the NBA right now who are 30 and under, it took time. So I honestly believe that my Brooklyn Nets, we're one real young superstar piece away from really being contenders. I really believe that. We draft well last year. If we do well in this year's draft, I mean, we could really put ourselves on a fast track. Again, I like AJ DeBosta. I like the kid from Arkansas, the point guard. Oh, if you know, you know. That boy get busy. I like the kid Peterson. Peterson he's a bucket. Peterson, like the way he scores is so easy, it's so gifted. It's crazy. The only question with Peterson is does he love basketball? Because honestly, I think he's dealing with an injury that he doesn't want to tell anybody. And that's the reason why he's like, yo, don't forget my minutes, coach. Like, I'm going to give you a good 6 minutes right now. Take me out. I'll come back in. I'm going to cook up for like another 12 minutes. But you got to take me out. So I think that's the real issue. And it's making him look bad because it makes it seem like he don't love basketball. But if that's not the case, then that's a whole nother conversation in itself. I like Boozer, the kid Boozer, Carlos Boozer's son. I think he's a good player. But I would prefer, if my Brooklyn Nets, if we got AJ, if we got the kid from Arkansas, or even the kid Peterson from Kansas. But this is a great class. But just those three, they're not the only three in this upcoming draft that could change the course of your franchise. Superstar player, superstar statistics, and being able to win. Because I can't stand a superstar that scores 50 points or 35 points, could cook up, and your team loses. Like you're chefing up just for the team to lose. That's why I used to love the young Brooklyn Net team before we got the KDs and the Kyrie, because they will cook and they will win, but they not KD and they not Kyrie, they not James Harden. So I mean, it is what it is. So again, I think this year's draft class for the NBA is going to be one of those draft classes that defines the NBA, like the '84 draft, 1998 draft, 2003 draft, the 2000 and I believe that's 18 draft, and the 2021 draft. Is that the draft with no. Whatever draft Tatum and it was a whole bunch of them. Tatum, Brown, kid on Cleveland. That draft was crazy too. And there was another draft with Ant-Man. But this year's draft, unlike any other, I said 98, I meant 96. I said 98, I meant 96. I still remember that. That 96 draft is crazy. That 96 draft is crazy. But yeah, like I meant to say 96, not 98. When you had Iverson, Steph, Ray Allen, Marcus Camby. I know that draft, bro. Peja Stojakovic, Kobe Bryant. That draft was popping. John Wallace. For those who don't know, John Wallace was nice when he was at Syracuse. Eric Dampier. That draft was popping. That draft was popping. That 96 draft was serious. Yes. Kerry Kittles. Kerry Kittles was nice in college at Villanova. Nice. Samaki Walker. He was nice in college. Nice. Y'all think I'm crazy. Samaki was nice in college. That draft was crazy. But again, I think this draft will define the next 10 years of in the NBA. I say NFL, in the NBA. That's how talented this draft is, in my opinion. Antoine Walker was in that 96 draft. But that's how talented I think this year's draft. I think it's going to be a 96, 2003, 1984, or 2016 type of draft, for sure. Absolutely. So I'm loving this draft and what it looks like from the talent standpoint. And you can see that they're only going to get better. The only person that I wish joined this draft class, and he already said that he's not, is Elijah Arenas. Elijah Arenas wants to wait, I believe, till next year to come out in the draft. It's like, why? You're only going to get better getting ready for the NBA by playing in the NBA. I respect the decision. I ain't mad at him for wanting more of that college life. You know what I'm saying? That's a good time right there. You're never going to get them years back. But he has a chance to be a part of a draft that's going to define the NBA moving forward. So, and it's an important draft. So, to me, I think it will be more popping to be a part of or be like a mid to late first rounder in a popping draft like this. And then like 5 years later, when you redraft, you'll be like, yeah, he should have went this high, right? Opposed to being in the next draft that's not as popping and got it's lackey, but you a top pick. And it's like, it's cool, but you know what I'm saying? It's blah. So shout out to my dog Cece. Shout out to Rowan Jack. We got my dog Rowan Jack in the building, one of our day ones, one of our longest holding badge holders for over 2 years, man. Appreciate my dog Rowan Jack. Lost track of time. Hey guys, my dog Yellows is in the building. 96 draft was the best draft ever. Very debatable, but for years I used to say that. For years I used to say the 96 draft is the best one ever, because that was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, my favorite player in the world went into that draft, which is Stephon Marbury. So, Ash, imagine Charlotte trading Kobe for Vlade. Yo, bro, in 96, that's how crazy that draft was, y'all. Kobe Bryant was supposed to be a Charlotte Hornet. In that draft, most teams was like, yeah, he cool, he could play, but is he gonna be good though? Imagine asking that question about Kobe Bryant. Is he gonna be good though? You know what I'm saying? Is he a sure thing like Allen Iverson? A sure thing like Stephon Marbury? That's what they was asking, bro. Even Jermaine O'Neal was in that draft. Jermaine O'Neal was like, he was also like a high school guy in that draft. 96 draft was popping. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, that's why I feel like Elijah Arena should be in this year's draft. Just declare, bro. Be in the mid to later first round. So what? You get a chance to cook. You a 6'7" point guard. Suki Smooth that could cook. You might end up going to a good team with an aging veteran that you could learn something from, put towards your game, and still be able to cook. That's the best of both worlds. And you're not with a struggling team, like a struggling franchise that wants to win, that's going to put winning pieces around you. I mean, that's the bigger picture. But yeah, can you imagine? And mind you, Vlade was a solid player. Vlade could play, but he ain't Bean. He ain't Bean, though. He ain't the Mamba. You crazy? Oh, my God. I can't imagine having that phone call, bro. What? Can you imagine being the Lakers be like, yo, I'm saying, like, we doing you a favor. We giving you Vlade. You giving us like this young high school kid. We don't even know if he gonna be any good. Like come on. Like where he from? Lower Marion? Like, come on, man. We just want to see his upside. Like we already got Eddie Jones for real at that position. We already got our 2 guard position. This pick is just like a luxury pick for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for real. We bringing in Shaq. We got Nick Van Exel. We got Eddie Jones. We got Cedric Sabalas, and we traded him for Fox. Like, I mean, we don't want to be too big out there. So, like, we'll give y'all Vlade. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hook us up with Kobe. Like, imagine making that call. Like, that's crazy. So, I love the fact that you point that out, Yellows, for a fact. No, that's CC that pointed that out. My bad. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Terry Crews should get on this draft. You stupid. You stupid. Terry Crews used to play in the NFL, y'all. He used to play in the NFL. When he had hair, he had a flat top. And I believe he played like special teams. He played like linebacker, but he actually played in the league though, in the NFL, not NBA, but he played the league though. You know what I'm saying? Even though he played Cheeseburger Eddie in the movie with Adam Sandler. You know what I'm saying? That character is forever funny. The fact that bro pulled the whole cheeseburger out, you know what I'm saying, out the drawers and put it on son helmet like, yo, that's for you. Like, just keep it cool. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your cheeseburger. I don't care if I'm in jail, if I'm in hell, I'm never eating a cheeseburger straight from a man's balls. Like, that's crazy. Like, but it was in a rapper though. So for the jail dude, it was cool. Nah, bro. Nah. Not happening. But again, that draft was popping. That 96 draft, yes. Marcus Camby was supposed to be like a hybrid of what Kevin Durant, what Kevin Garnett, and probably like Patrick Ewing was. Because he was slim, he could run the court, he shot blocking, he had a nice low post game as well. I mean, Camby could play. And man, oh man. So, and Camby still ended up being a solid player, but y'all get the point though. That draft was so pivotal. 84 draft, Michael Jordan. I believe Charles Barkley was in that draft. I believe Charles was in that draft. Akeem Olajuwon was in that draft. I'm forgetting like a few people, but John Stockton was in that draft. I think the 84 draft might have the most Hall of Famers. Might. You know, so this particular draft is a defining NBA draft type of year. So, yeah, I'm loving this. And I'm loving the fact that I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. Because if we draft right, we could get good real quick. We one superstar away. One superstar away. A young piece. Not an old piece. A young piece away. And then, mind you, the NBA is now, and this is why they're doing it. Don't think that they're not doing it for a reason. This year's draft is so good. It's part of the reason why they're doing an expansion draft. Seattle and the second team as of right now is Las Vegas. But if Las Vegas fall through, it will be Virginia Beach. I'm surprised they didn't talk about San Diego because San Diego is actually the best market. But The teams that they have on the board for doing the expansion with is bringing back the Seattle Supersonics and having the Las Vegas team there. So with all this talent again, and then you had other players saying that there's not enough talent in the NBA to have an expansion. I'm saying with the new crop, you're gonna see that go up, or you're gonna see that maintain itself. So this is going to be a very exciting year for the NBA draft. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Roa Jack. You say that now. Spend 2 weeks on MRE in the Cheeseburger Eddie. Looking good then. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Nah. Bro, I know all about Camp Oz. I know all about Camp Oz. Y'all like Camp Oz? Camp, like the word camp, like you going to camp. Eyes. I know about Camp Eyes. Camp Eyes is a figure of speech. When you go to camp, the lunch lady that serves you the food, she looks like the lunch lady. Like, oh, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. But if you're at camp for 2 weeks, the lunch lady starts looking like Kelly Rowland, Rihanna, Beyonce, Megan Good. Like, oh my God, you've been a 10 all your life? Damn. So if I happen to have to be, God forbid, because I've been there before. In 2 weeks, cheeseburgers coming out of man's drawers will never be delectable, bro. No. If you know, you know. Shit, when you in there, you don't even want to eat a thing. It smells like it smells like a bag full of buttholes all the time. Eating is the last thing you want to do. Trust me on that. It gives a new meaning to nostril hairs. And some of the fattest rats that you could even imagine is in a correctional facility. Trust me, I will never look at that like, oh, you got onions on them cheeseburgers? Nah, bro. Nah. I'll be better off with a peanut butter and with the peanut butter, and it's not even like real peanut butter and jelly. Like, hook me up on them peanut butter and butter sandwiches. I'm better off with those. Hook a brother up with an apple, granny style. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nah. Can y'all imagine, y'all? You got an inmate in jail that brings out fresh hot food from his drawers. Yeah, that's a cheeseburger and pizza I'm gonna miss out on. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the McNuggets. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget the McNuggets. Nah, I'm cool with the McNuggets, bro. I'm cool. Dirty effing private. Like, I'm cool. Shout out to Maria in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Maria, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We appreciate you for tapping in. Major blessings to you. Keep doing your thing. We appreciate you for tapping in as always. Man, y'all absolutely been amazing. If y'all got questions, y'all can ask me some questions. But y'all been absolutely amazing. Episode 248. That's a lot of episodes. A lot of episodes. We working over here. So again, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We right at the cusp of 13. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now. Again, it helps with the growth of the show. Also check into the videos. I post at least 2 videos daily. Whether they're videos or shorts, you're going to get these videos. You're going to get this content. And it's meaningful content. It's not empty calories content. So again, tap into it. Like, subscribe, share, leave comments. I've been seeing y'all comments. Y'all have been engaging in the videos. And again, I thank y'all and salute y'all for showing me so much love. But if it's your first time watching, I am Ashley Lovechild. So again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Be on the lookout for some new music. I have a blockage of great music, meaning like I have stockpiles of great music. but I no longer release them through Apple, Spotify, and that's why you haven't seen me release new music, because of Apple and Spotify new updates. They treat us as we are their artists and not independent artists. So because so, I've created my own way to release music to the masses, and that app is still being in development, but it's worth it, y'all, because it's a better listen. You're going to get better visuals, and you're going to get more. It's way more interactive, and it's going to be more. It's going to be fire. So trust and believe me when I tell you this music is going to be fire. And for my new project, I'm going to have vinyl printed out. I'm going to have vinyls made. So it's going to be vinyls to this album, because I will say this is probably my best album. Yeah. In my opinion, my best album out now is Ready to Live. But this album I'm working on now, yeah, it's better. It's better. I will say that it's better. So I got fire music already out there, but this album right here, it's better. So be on the lookout for that as well. Major love to y'all. As always, I appreciate y'all in every single way y'all don't understand. And again, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not stand out for being negative. Have that ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. Hate has a location, it's just not here, man. So make sure y'all have that energy moving out throughout the week. It's going to be a productive week. For those who thought it was going to be a shitty week this week, no. It's going to be a fire week. And the fact that I'm saying it's going to be a fire week, you was kind of wishy-washy today, it's going to be a fire week for you, okay? And I mean that sincerely. When you believe it, you will achieve it. Mindset is everything. The mightiest sword that you have is your tongue. If you say it, it will happen. Make it happen. Trust me. Words have power, for sure. I say that with a smile because I've seen it happen, because we're connected to the land. Believe me when I say this. Get down, put your hands on the floor, and whatever your goals and dreams, talk into the floor, because it's connected to the land. You ever wonder why the things that you think and the things that you speak on, you actually see it not too much longer after that? You experience it not too much longer after that, because we're connected to the land. Your words have power. So speak it into existence, believe in it, and work on it. Don't just say it and don't work on it. Don't say, yeah, I want to lose some weight this year, or I want to lose some weight in a couple months, and just eating a whole bunch of cheeseburgers from Cheeseburger Eddie. Can't do that. You got to put in the work, and you got to speak it to an existence. And that's with everything. So don't forget that. A shout out to my dog, Cece. Yes, sir. Don't lurk. Work. I love that. That's a fire. That's fire right there. Shout out to Maria as well. We need your email address so we can get you some tickets and meet and greet. I would love that. I appreciate that. You know, I have the email address on the page, so you know how we do. But I definitely send that to y'all, so hopefully y'all can show some love, and I'll show some love like I always do. I appreciate you and the crew as always. It always work for you. Work it. That's a fact. That's a fact. So again, whatever you thought that was tough, that is tough, that's why it's worth it, because it's tough. And secondly, you can achieve it. You can achieve it. Put your hands on the floor. I'm telling you, this works, y'all. Put your hands on the floor. Speak life into it. Speak life into it, and you will see these doors open up. And y'all got mad love for y'all, man. Again, it's your boy Ashley Lovechild. In the in between time, you can still go to Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. I love SoundCloud, might I add. Any place where you listen to your music, type in Ashley Lovechild. Man, I got fire music, man. Just pop in and check into the music, man. And again, when you're on YouTube, check out those videos. Again, I'm releasing videos daily and shorts daily. Comment and like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. So major love. Again, I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday for the Wednesday night episode. And y'all already know what time it is, man. It's love. I'll see y'all next time, this Wednesday at 10:30.